What's good? I thought I'd sign in just before I get to bed, people. Little review. For the first time in my life, I have listened to Pearl Jam over the last couple of nights. I broke the album into 2 listenings. It was the album 10, alright? The debut LP, right? Let me just see if I can get a little bit of info. I don't know if I'll be able to, in all fairness. But it was an interesting experience. I don't think they outstayed their welcome with only 11 tracks on the record. Some of them being shorter than others. I'd say we were averaging around 4 minutes per song. The production was spot on. There was a fantastic use of dynamic with the instrumentation on this record, alongside a fantastic implementation of tension and build-up on numerous songs. And I felt that's, you know, if you're into that sort of stuff, you'll really like Pearl Jam. There was a very good maturity to the sound of the record, whether that be because the musicians knew how to work, whether that be as far as how they got into the studio and worked with the producers, or whether it just because they'd been jamming for some time and really developed and fallen comfortable in their sound. I think the first half of the record is a lot better than the second half, although a lot of people would disagree as far as the commentary goes that I've read under each of these single songs. You know, everyone's got a favourite, and a lot of people's favourites span into the second half of the record. My favourite on the second half is going to be the track Release, but when we got from Oceans onwards, which was track 7 onwards, I felt it was a bit more of a drag. So I'm sorry to all you Pearl Jam fans out there. That was my personal opinion. The guitars were very good. The lead guitars were super tasty. I'm not a guitar solo fan, but I really enjoyed the guitar solos. I've heard Even Flow before. Played on Guitar Hero. The tune Alive was my favourite on the record. I've heard the chorus somewhere, I don't know where, I think it might have been synced to an advertisement of some sort, so in the soundtrack of something, but I'd never heard it in full with the full tune. That was really good. The guitar solo on there was absolutely mind-blowing, and that was an example of the build-up. The guitar solo was building up with the instrumental all the way to the end cadence, which was a little bit of a letdown. Just on the last chord, there could have been more emphasis. That was the only thing that let me down, and that I remember. I listened to it yesterday and I still remember just them 1-2 chords at the end, because I felt, oh, they should have just given it a bit more emphasis and then it would have been perfect. So that's it really. As far as the vocal performance, it's powerful whilst lacking intensity, you know. I think that's quite symbolic of the times, you know, grunge, a little bit of a murmur in there. There's a little bit of a quiver at times. Eddie Vedder, I think he's called, who fronted the band. But it was a great vocal performance regardless. Didn't really follow the lyrical content. I don't. Unless the lyric is super clear and there is a pop music rhyming scheme in place, I don't follow the lyrical content. You know, I'm not there to listen to storytelling and all this and that. I'm here to listen to the piece as a whole. Melodies, harmonies, instrumental. That's what I'm interested in first and foremost. Although, you know, a lot of people will differ, because I've always been a guitarist, so it's the first thing I pick up on. And yeah, as far as the experience listening to it, it was an easy enough listen, but just on that second half, or the 7th song onwards, I was waiting for another selling point. It did come on the track Release. I thought that was quite a deep sound, a very emotional track, potentially the most emotional on the record in my opinion. The lead guitars were very subtle but very brilliant on that tune. Broken chord over and over and over. Reminded me for a particular bullet for my Valentine track entitled Hearts Burst Into Fire, which obviously came a lot later, but I heard that track first, so it reminded me of that. And that's about it for the most part. The drumming, I didn't really pick up too much on the drumming. The bass line was nice and clear, well produced. And overall it was a good record. I feel the artwork could be a bit better as well, to be honest with you. I like the clarity of the title, Pearl Jam. But it looks like it's a live record. It looks like it should be a live record as opposed to a studio record, in my opinion. So I think it could have, you know, been a better album cover. But that's just a brief one, alright? That was my brief review of Pearl Jam's album 10. The view count on these tunes are crazy. No music videos. One of them got 88 million views, and that was it Why Go? Let's have a quick deek. Why Go? No, only 2 million on Why Go. Black is the name of the track, and on Black got 88 million views. Personally, at that moment in time, I didn't know what to expect with Pearl Jam, and given the introduction to the record with the tunes that came before, I was just wanting riffs and riffs. I wanted rock and roll, rock music. And so Black was a bit dissatisfying for me, so I definitely go against the grain on that one, because I know a wealth of people are going to disagree with me, because that was the highest viewed track on the record. I'm blown away, because that's more than double of the tunes Alive and Even Flow, which are fantastic numbers. So that was it, really. If I was to give it a rating, people are saying this is the best record of the 90s, the best grunge record and so forth. People, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I'm sorry, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. That's my personal opinion, subjective, so I want to say peace to all the Pearl Jam fans. I'm going to continue listening to the discography, because I know there's going to be some bangers in there. Without further ado,